I am back from a trip from home where I am originally from, and I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit, maybe a lot, here on my just my little podcast that I call Little Big Wins, where I express on here my little actions that they mean nothing to the world at all. They are so insignificant, not important to the world. However, to me, they are big wins. Why? Because they have led to so much healing. I would definitely say that my current trip home definitely gave me healings. And not just that, I really felt emotionally even that I was repositioned and replanted in those original roots and soils of which I have sprung from. And I loved it. I was not ready to come back to where I'm teaching now on another island, and I was just it was just a different kind of depth that I felt in being realigned. It felt like it was the right time to go back and to do it that way. The last time I was home was actually 2009, which is horrible. Like, why am I out and gone for so long? Life just happened to me, and it took a different turn, and I had to, on my own, elsewhere, I had to change lanes and do some soul searching and some realignment out there. However, returning home, that soulful action regrounded me. It rerouted me, and it was an effortless thing. I felt so good to be home. I would be open to moving back home, which I never thought I'd say. I would obviously keep my place in New York City, and I'd be open to also living mainly between Hawaii and American Samoa. American Samoa is my home. So much for like anonymity for myself on here. And it was kind of a freak thing. I was on standby. Well, let me kind of regurgitate what the original schedule was. I flew out on Thursday, June 12th, and was going to be there for a very big event. A relative of mine was turning 90 years old, which is like was such a milestone in life and legacy, and offering her life to her family and her community. And so I was not going to miss that. I was really not going to miss that. I knew that lady since I was really, really little. And in New York City, where I live, I've actually been with relatives from that side of the family, more so because they have relocated there within the last several years. And so it's been really nice to have them there. And so then I was not going to miss the 90-year-old auntie from that side of the family living back home in American Samoa. I was not going to miss her birthday party. No way. So whatever it took, I had to do what I can to move my version of heaven and earth, and it happened. So I flew out. I actually flew out on standby, and I was lucky I got on the plane. And so I got there late Thursday night. We spent Friday with my other family who actually raised me, at my mom's side of the family, and then we were able to go to the big party on Saturday, and then I went to church there on Sunday, and then we had big lunch, and then with the family with the 90-year-old, And then I later had evening time with the other side of the family that I stay with when I go home, which is my mom's side of the family. And I felt like if I was going to leave too soon, which would have been Monday, I flew in Thursday, then fly out Monday. If I just felt I was going to leave too soon. And for some reason, I thought, yeah, I'll get on the plane. And I was on standby returning to Hawaii. It's a 5-hour plane ride. And, I didn't make it. I was still on standby. And I was fine with it. It's like, okay, we'll try the next day, Tuesday. That was the next flight out from Pago, American Samoa, back to Hawaii. By the way, mind you, I had to get back because later that week that I was returning, I was preparing for excuse me, an event at my workplace that I was in charge of. So Tuesday night rolls around, can't get on the plane. So I was on standby again, and I honestly, deep in the heart of my heart, I was happy about that. I was like, oh, I just spent the Father's Day weekend celebrating this wonderful 90-year-old woman auntie's birthday on a Saturday. The next day, Sunday, was Father's Day, and I was with so many male and father relatives who are fathers. And in my culture, that's a really big deal. So it was really important to me. Well, then, the next plane that was going to fly out was Thursday of that week. And that was my last chance to come home for the event. Anyway, in the case that I was not going to return home, my really awesome friend who lives in Hawaii, also a fellow professor, she was like, hey, if you are unable to make it back home, you could just let me know and she'll just take care of it. And you know what? She took care of it. It was awesome. She was the MC. She took care of it. She's totally a stand-in. She knows those classes. She teaches those classes also throughout the year during the other semesters. And I was covered. And the students had a wonderful time. And there was lots of video footage and photo images of the performance, of the event, which I thought I would make. However, as it turns out, I was unable to make it on that last flight out that week. So I did a lot of sweating online, moved everything online, and communicated online with all the students as to what to do and how to proceed and how to go about it. So they could run that event alongside my friend, the professor, and they could just work together in making that event happen without me physically being there. And it worked out beautifully, and I really enjoyed the shows. And I was happily stranded and marooned at home in American Samoa. I had my aunties help me out with some things that helped the class as well. I was so grateful for them. Then a whole second weekend passed and I still was not gone. I was like, okay, well, we'll try again Monday, which was this past Monday. And I went, standby. Guess what? No go. And I was fine. I was fine. I was totally fine. I was happy. And I got a little sick. You could hear that cold again. You could hear this cold, like I'm having a cold again. And then Tuesday rolled around and tried again. Guess what? Nothing. And I was fine. I really was fine. I was honestly ready to stay another month back home in the islands and to just do other things. I was really happy there. I was regrounded there. And it was as if it was the time that I was there. I think the other wonderful thing is that where I live is formerly my father's house. He purchased it years and years ago, and then he passed it on to me. Then I passed it on to another sibling. Then there was an issue, and then my auntie purchased the house, and my uncle purchased the land, and they both take care of the property that way, and they both live in American Samoa, and I have nothing but gratitude for them. I'll do anything for them. So, anyway, my I was ready to stay longer. I truly was. My uncle got my return ticket. He made me reimburse the first return ticket. I was like, oh, okay. And so we went on his purchase of a free ticket. And mind you, he actually works for the airlines, and so he also got a deal for it anyway. So that ticket was basically free. And so I was flexible with whatever he wanted me to do. Stay longer, go more immediately, whatever. Well, Thursday rolled around, and it was the final chance for me to leave home. And I honestly was used to the routine of going and trying to get on, not getting on, and then coming right back home. Thankfully, Auntie's house is like, it's really close to the airport, so it's really quick to come pick me up, drop me off, come what may. Well, anyways, there we were, waiting, and once again, Thursday night, it did not look like I got on at all. They had closed the airport, the aircraft doors. They were sealed shut, ready to go. However, suddenly, in that end, as I was waiting for my uncle, who works for the airlines, like I said, to walk off the tarmac and meet me in the waiting room where all the passengers were. At that point, all the other standbys had gone home, so it was really just me and the custodians and the security guard and the last of the airlines staff. Suddenly, on their walkie-talkies, they said that there was a passenger on there that might have to exit the plane, have to deplane. And so it was right about then, after one or two announcements that I overheard on the walkie-talkie, then my uncle comes around, and I said, oh, hey, uncle. He goes, oh, and he apologized again the sixth time, because this is the sixth attempt to actually try to get on this plane. And at that point, we still had decided, okay, I'm going to stay longer, because I was still on standby and I did not make it on the plane. And of course, in my head, I was ready to envision which beaches I would be swimming at back home in American Samoa, and go buy a pair of snorkel, one or two pairs of snorkel gear, a mask and a snorkel, so that me and my auntie and her friend we can go swimming and just be in the wildlife of home, which is like one of my favorite things to do, is to go snorkeling, just swimming with the animals underneath, and just looking and just enjoying underwater in so many spots. Well, anyway, my uncle gets told by the staff there, it's like, hey, hang on a second, she might get on. And this is, of course, in relation to this suddenly happening, abruptly there, suddenly there, miracle of my being able to hop on, because one person actually might deplane due to medical reasons. And then, of course, I'm like, I go ahead and keep your miracle. I'm happy to hang around here in American Samoa longer. Anyway, so, but I also did not want to continue straining my uncle. I did not want him to feel like he wasted a ticket that he purchased. Okay, it was a ticket that was really very affordable, extremely affordable, but he still spent a little cash on that, and I would not want him to feel like it was wasted by me not hopping on when the opportunity came. Well, anyway, we're standing there at the desk, and there they were, working a way for me to get on the plane. They reopened those sealed aircraft carrier doors and trying to confirm allowance and permissions for me to actually take the place of the deplaned um, passenger. And it happened all so fast that I did not even get a newly printed actual boarding pass with the seat number on it. They just said, yeah, you just got to go, because they just had to go. I mean, they were already delayed anyway. It was about an hour and a half late before they actually started boarding people anyway earlier on. And suddenly I found myself sobbing as, oh gosh, as I hugged my uncle. As I hugged him. And I wanted to let him know, hey, I could not have done any of this without you. And I did not have a chance to say that I was always so grateful. He was my uncle. He was one of the uncles that had raised me when I was little. We were growing up in Grandma's house. And he was always there. And he was really very creative and high IQ. And he never lived anywhere else but American Samoa. And there he was, still holding it down for all of us. Me. And so I'd do anything for him. And I would do anything for his younger sister, my auntie, who lives in our house. Well, lives in her house now in the home near the airport. Anyways, I do anything for them, and I feel really grounded. I did tell them that I would be open to returning home to live in about a year or 2 years. I was ready to start saying that out loud to them, because it's true. I would keep a place in New York City, so that anytime my family wanted to go crash in that amazing place that I also call home, they could just go. They don't need jackets, they don't need boots. It would just all be there. And even if I'm not there, I'd be like, hey, here's the key, or just go on in and you guys just have fun. Whatever you want to do, whatever you do, just don't burn anything down. And just enjoy your life there. Because my family works hard, especially my family who still lives back home. And they have families and lives of their own, and I just have pure gratitude for them. And I could not stop sobbing as I hugged him, and I bid him farewell. And I want to declare it's a temporary farewell. And there I was, just making my way on the tarmac, frustrated with how sad I felt leaving. I was not ready to go. I was not ready to go, and I thought I would be. I love home so much, and I love it even more so through this trip, because of my family. And so if there's any group of family that understands in my life, that can explain and understand, hey, life happens. Life happens. I would say it's them. Those two, especially my auntie and my uncle. All my relatives there. So I I am looking forward to finding a way to balance it all out. And because this trip was so meaningful, I ended up staying home in American Samoa for 2 weeks, whole 2 whole weeks. But I would have been happy to stay there one more month, just another month before leaving and planning a way to return home. And I am doing that right now. I'm working on how to get a really great remote job, hopefully in the oil business, and also for my many businesses that, I'm established in New York City, and I want myself to continue to be established there, and but just be doing other things like at home and stuff. So that is what this trip has done for me. I am so grateful for that trip. I am grateful for the many, many standbys that I was unable to get on the airplane earlier. I'm glad I was held back. I was glad I was held back. I spent more time with my family there. And I spent more time feeling gratitude for them. Deep gratitude. Next time I go, we are all definitely going to go to the other Samoa, independent Samoa, where we have, my mom and my uncle still there, and my auntie, the ones that I'm talking about, the young one with her home near the airport, and then my uncle, of course, that works for her. They're all brothers and sisters to my mom, and their parents are originally from the independent country of Samoa, and so we're gonna go to that island, and I also want to go to the other part of independent Samoa called Savaii, of which Hawaii is actually named after. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go to the other island too, of the family with the 90-year-old auntie. I would love to go to Ta'u, which is that group of islands is still part of American Samoa, but they're like a smaller group of a smaller group of islands. And one of them I have not been to, so I would like to go. And however, so grateful I am for that upbringing, for the gratitude I have for that wonderful upbringing. And I'm just so I'm a little bit emotionally spent and still swimming in my sadness because I am separated from them by an ocean. And I'm back on this side of paradise. But I never forget the original paradise home of which I have come from, and the family from which I was born into. I have my purest love. They deserve it. I'm so grateful for them. Well, I better sign off because the waterworks tonight. I'm just feeling so sensitive. I might go for a walk here in beautiful Laie, here in Hawaii. I fly out to go see my mom and my other siblings and their families in Missouri before I fly to the reservation, and also then back to the East Coast. Thank you so much for being a part of listening to my expressions here on Little Big Wins. Sorry about the cold.